Hello teachers, welcome back. This is Give Me 5 book 3 and this is lesson 1. This is the last part of lesson 1. Okay, here's the reminder of the content that we are now focused on for this particular lesson, and it's heading towards the end of the class. So as you remember, there were a couple of numbers on the board. We've had our students having the question and answer conversation. Now we're going to move into the writing part. And as you can see, the teacher has done a lot of the work. Now, this is obviously because we want our students to really understand and have it reinforced in their heads on how to approach the question and answer format. Now, when we do this one, I will now use this as an opportunity to, let's say, relax the way that they are thinking. I'll say, all right, boys and girls, please get out your books. It's kind of like a relaxing, fun activity before we actually commit to paper. And I'll say, all right, boys and girls, get out your books. Please go to the activity number 1 and follow me, okay? This is the school gym. And everybody says, this is the school gym. All right, boys and girls, very cool. Underline school gym. Wow, it's really big. What do you do in here? Good job, boys and girls. Underline big. No, underline big. I do gymnastics in my PE lesson. Okay, boys and girls, underline gymnastics. Okay, so as we go through the text, we underline to make sure that all of the students are focused and on exactly the same page. Now, once we finished underlining, I'm going to then say to my students, all right, boys and girls, I'll put them into pairs, and I'll say, all right, boys and girls, you guys have got to change the venue. And the kids will be like, huh? What do you mean change the venue? All right, so in pairs, I want you to say, this is the school library, or this is the library. Wow, it's really big, or wow, it's really small, maybe, or wow, it's really beautiful. That's okay. What do you do in here? I read books in the school library, in my school library, okay? So you give them that opportunity to change those words in that paragraph. We can call this guided writing if you want. And then you walk around the classroom and just make sure that they're kind of on track, especially where we have at the very end, I play football on the football pitch. I read books in the library. They might say something silly like, it's behind the library. Huh? No, the library's behind somewhere else. My meaning is you've got to make sure that they are actually on track and doing it. Once they've written it clearly, you can give them points. And then what you can do is say this, all right, boys and girls, because you don't want to listen to the whole conversation. It's really boring for the teacher and for the students. Actually, the students, it's just too much. So divide it into part A and part B. All right, boys and girls, Bob and Jenny, you're A. Mike and Tim, you're part B. And allow them to then practice the dialogue. And maybe you can tell them, all right, kids, you have to memorize that. So no books, close your books. The kids are like, oh my goodness, I have to memorize this. That's fine. It's actually only 2 sentences each. Okay, it's basically a statement and a response. Okay? So they memorize that for a couple of minutes. And then, of course, boom, what they can do is they will then come up to the front of the classroom, and A and B will then talk, and then C and D will then have an opportunity to talk as well, okay, to use that dialogue. All right, so that's how we're going to do that particular activity. You don't have to do it. You could use it as a written exercise. The kids can go home and copy it down into their notebooks. That's up to you as the teacher if you'd like to use that as an exercise for homework or not, or a classroom exercise or not. Shoo, okay, that goes out the way. Now that the kids have had a lot of reinforcement about this kind of thing, I'm going to shuffle up the numbers and I'm going to erase from the left-hand side of the whiteboard the structure, and I'm going to erase the questions on the right-hand side. And now my students have got to figure out a question and an answer written down in their notebooks. So they'll take a look at number 1 and they'll look at number 1. Number 2, let's do number 2, it's the bike rack. So obviously number 2 is, where do you park your bike? Uh-oh, I park my bike in the bike rack, okay? They've got to figure that all out themselves. And they've got to then replace and substitute all of the words on the board. If you want to make it even harder, you can then erase all of those phrasal verbs as well. And then it becomes quite a challenge for them to be able to memorize and write down everything in their notebook. And then, of course, once they finish writing, you walk around and you can check. All right, and then finally, boys and girls, you'll tally all of the scores and you will then say goodbye. And that is my chance now to say goodbye to you. I hope you have a super successful lesson for your lesson 1 in your Give Me 5 book 3. Okay, take care, teachers, and I shall see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.